Hello, welcome to the Sphinx Gamer podcast, everybody. Hey-oh, we're back.
I feel like a polar bear right now today in Tempe. Got myself a nice cold Mexican Coke with that real sugar.
Real sugar, yeah. I picked them up at a store. I got the giant pack, and I'm really liking it. It's tasty, isn't it? You can taste the difference.
That's right. And where'd you say you get this from? Costco?
Costco.
See, that's what's amazing about Arizona, right? If you want to go to a store, like a specific store, you can just pick a direction, start driving. You'll come across it eventually, like, hey, Costco, just go this way.
That's right.
Hey, there's one, Safeway.
I even stay within 4 blocks. I only have to go a couple blocks up the street there, hit Costco and Target and the IHOP. I mean, everything is right where I want it to be. And then just a block up is good old Chick-fil-A.
Right on.
Right on. I picked a prime spot.
Tell you, someone was barbecuing earlier. Smelled good.
And
I think it's time to make some friends today.
Maybe. Can't believe they're barbecuing outside. God, this is what happens when you stay indoors all day. You're working or doing whatever. But you're outside, huh?
Yeah. Definitely getting some color in.
I can tell.
It's pretty sunny out here. Really, I mean, I think it was like 81 degrees or something like that. Sunburn. Yeah. Completely sunburn. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, right?
And March is right around the corner. So how are things going?
Or how are things going? Still at the Renaissance Fair. Any Rennies want to come out, say hello? Come say hello to Leah. So at the kitchen I work at, they don't give cups or not cups. They don't give lids and straws out, right? Because if they give straws and lids out, then it can increase litter.
I don't see why they do that. You need a straw.
Yeah,
you go to eat so that you can quickly get a sip of a drink, and then you go back to chowing down on your food.
Yeah, and, a lot of people have children and things like that, and they have to drink out of a straw. But so I got into character. And people would say, well, do you have a straw?
You scared them.
No, I would say, well, it's a tariff from the king. Oh. Right? He says it's too French. Oh. Is drinking out of a straw. So he imposed a tax, right? Yeah. So when we would have a big line, the king and queen would come through. And they're the king and queen. I mean, they must have spent like $4,000 each, at least on their costumes. I mean, they're so extravagant, right? Yeah. So when the king walks by, I'm like, God save the queen, right? And long live the queen! And so the king walks by, right? And the queen wasn't around. And so I said, thy king's tariff on thy straws has gone on long enough. Who's with me? Everyone just kind of turns, and the king turns, and he gives this, Steven Seagal, what the fuck did you just say to me? Yeah. My straws? How dare you? They're too French.
Did they chase you out of town or something, or what?
Well, no, they actually nailed my feet there. You see, they saw me reading a book, thought I was literate, and I swear I was just looking at the book. I don't know how to read. I don't know how to read it. Yeah. No, I swear, but the queen, popped up, without the king, right? Mm-hmm. And she was totally decked out like the queen from Alice in Wonderland, the new one, right, where she's all white. Yeah. Is it Alice in Wonderland?
Is that the Snow White one?
Maybe. What was the one where her lips were all pursed and... Well, anyway. Yeah. But I had been bragging to people that day that I was the queen's chief chambermaid. Mm-hmm, that's right. Okay. Chamber pot so clean that you can eat off of it. And the queen was staring right at me, and she didn't even move her body. She just gives this little nod of approval.
Beheads.
That'll do, peasant. That'll do. That's right. Yes. Don't worry, I will make sure we use the sharpest halberd when we remove thy head. But I could go on all day. This is not Renaissance Cast. This is Sphinx Gamer's cast, and
I like hearing about it. I've been feeling great all week.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I noticed your PC when the sun shone on it, and the ape picked up the bone and started smacking it, and all the apes got up and evolved.
Was I here?
You see, okay, maybe the heat's kind of gotten to me. Yes.
I just had the air conditioner on and then it just shut off. It hit whatever its temperature is supposed to be in here, and then it went off. But I've been feeling great. I've never felt this light before ever. I've been doing a little bit of exercising lately. I've felt great. I've been just getting my goals. It's very interesting.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Normally my head is so cluttered with stuff, but now it's so light. I can finally sit down. I can enjoy things. I'm always thinking about the next things that I want to do and all the things I want to do with the site. If anyone's noticed any of the lurkers on there hasn't been any new content out there, but I'm at work trying to get some stuff. You're just humming in the background. I'm trying to talk about my little life story, but that's okay. Peasant.
Yes.
Peasant.
Sorry, myself. I was sharing in your joy.
I can tell. I can tell you're in the bubble of joy, and that's amazing. But yeah, I feel great, and we're going to continue to feel great. But yeah, we also have the loot crate that came in as well. It's bigger this month than last month's, which I've got someplace.
Upgraded model.
I don't know, but we're going to open it up today. And then you brought a list of more awesome stuff. I don't even know where to begin first.
Let's dive right into the
Did you hear any news first of all?
Have I heard any news? There's really been kind of a lull.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on, and we're just waiting for everything to materialize. The 3DS XL has just come out, and we're just kind of waiting to see what happens with that.
Yeah.
There's other platforms being endorsed, and we're just trying to see where it goes with that. And then, of course, there's a lot of indie games being developed, especially through Steam right now, that are greenlit, and people are just waiting for. So there really isn't a whole lot. I feel I've observed a huge impact in gaming lately. Like there just seems to be a lull, and I actually with current trends, Loot Crate kind of helps with that lull.
Yeah.
I think they send Loot Crate at just the right time. They wait for that lull, so it's like, ooh, something exciting. So, and I haven't seen this, so who knows what's going to be in this?
Who knows? Let's see.
I think I have a pocket knife.
I got one better. I found scissors.
Ooh, scissors.
Scissors.
Why do they call it a pair of scissors? It's just one.
I don't know. 2 blades, or what?
There we go.
I don't know. I just guessed. But yeah, there's news and all that other crap. Just been quiet.
Well, maybe this is the troll Loot Crate where a bunch of glitter pops out.
Are you ready? If it's glitter, it's gonna come at you. All right, let's open it. And you see, there's a different inside theme. Crate Packing Simulator 2015.
Oh wow!
Oh.
I don't know. Is it
Money World? Design, admire, and inspire. Create your own art toy. Includes 3 wipe-off markers. So I can create my own vinyl art toy. Blank mummy. Choose your art medium, and then share your art with friends. # money. I'm reading off the box art. Or reading off the box. I'm opening it up at the bottom because that's what was open. I like the box. I like the boxes for all these things.
It's a good quality box. You just don't see quality boxes like this anymore.
I know. Bet some people are wondering if we have video or not. And, no.
Well, it basically looks like, if Tommy Pickles were a bloated South Park character, but just the outside shell of him. It's also got sort of like a teddy bear tuft on his butt.
Says it's
really quite frightening.
It is
on its own.
Says it scares looks like it could scare some kids. I want to draw on it. So we have black, red, and blue markers.
Oh boy.
Wow. We got that one out. Black one. Just want to see if it works. It feels interesting. You know, if someone was really artistic, I guess they could really do some cool stuff with it. How about some eyes? And then
eyes are always nice.
A little mouth. Wow.
It's like a Kirby money.
We'll have to see what happens with that later.
You know, if you take the head off, it almost looks like a boo.
Can you take the head off?
Well, I wouldn't want to try. I mean, I'm sure I could.
Oh.
I don't think they want the head off, but yeah, it looks like a boo from Mario Brothers.
It's a money.
Yeah.
Money World. MUNNY. Put that over there. All right, what's next? You've got Super Fight, the Loot Crate deck. This is a 100-card version of the viral card game Super Fight, designed exclusively for Loot Crate by Skybound. Cards are only available in this exclusive deck. Create hilarious fighters with these cards, then argue over who would win in a fight between them. Wow.
Okay.
That sounds interesting.
It's almost like a sort of like a metaphoric words with friends.
Yeah.
Or not words with friends.
I'm opening. Packaging. So much packaging. It's just going to be lots of stuff. All right. So what do we got when we open this baby up? And we've got directions. So we'll just go through real quick and look at the characters. This is like I know what game you're trying to say now.
Oh, good. It's like Cards Against Humanity. Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got Derby Girl, I see Godzilla, Ocelot, Sushi Chef, Water Buffalo, blah, 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 King Kong. This is all in the white deck so far. We've got Star-Lord, the France, Honey Badger, the Navy, just to name a few, and Canary Reeves. So that's the white deck, and then black can only be killed by a stake through the heart. So these look like phrases. Blah, blah, blah. You're reading the directions a little bit.
Yeah, okay, so let's try a round.
And then we have blue.
So basically, player 1 starts by drawing 3 white cards and 3 black cards. You can look at them, but don't let anyone else see them. Player 2, the next player to the left, that would be me, does the same. Okay.
So I pick.
Yeah, you pick three white cards, and you pick 3 black cards, and then I'll pick 3 white cards and 3 black cards.
So I pick 3 white. And then you said 4 black?
I think it's another 3.
Okay. So I've picked my 3 white and 3 black.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I take 1, 2, 3 white and 1, 2, 3 black. Okay? And then now each player chooses 1 white card and 1 black card from their hand to create a fighter and places those cards face down. Then they discard their remaining cards into 2 separate piles, 1 for characters, 1 for attributes. Okay, did you get that? Okay. So, okay, I'm going to put down a black card and a white card.
So I discard the other 2 in a separate pile. I wish we had a bigger desk. All right.
Okay. And then next, both players turn over their cards and reveal their fighters.
All right.
Oh, I got a good one. Oh, this is easy. I get it. So both players argue and plead their cases about why their fighters would win the fight.
So mine is the Iron Giant, armed with a surface-to-air missile launcher.
Oh, goodness.
And who do you have?
Well, as someone who's just seen the SpongeBob movie, it's on like Donkey Kong.
Is it?
Easily. Sandy Cheeks has an enormous exposed brain. Yes. Totally believable. So basically, once the argument... So we argue who would win in a fight. And once the arguing is done, the table votes for a winner.
Seriously? I can just stomp you.
I guess you need like 3 players.
This is a good party game.
Like,
how about I just stomp you and that's it? I'm armed with a surface-to-air missile launcher.
Okay.
And you might be in the ocean someplace.
Yeah, so, if Iron Giant goes in the ocean, I don't know. It's going to sink. It's going to rust. It's not going to be able to launch a missile. It's going to be wet.
But what can Sandy Cheeks possibly do to the Iron Giant?
Well, I mean, Sandy Cheeks, she has an enormous brain. All right, we're talking telekinesis here. Mars attacks, SpongeBob version. Mm-hmm.
That's a scary thought. I haven't seen the SpongeBob movie. You liked it? You liked the movie?
Oh my gosh, I had a blast. I was the only one in the theater.
That's the best kind of movie to see. I couldn't imagine if I used any of the other 2 people.
It was worth the 5-year wait. I think it was announced in like year 2000.
Yeah.
It's supposed to come out in 2003, and they're like, no, it's going to come out in 2005. So I was like, gotta wait 5 years, but
I think I saw.
It was completely worth it.
I think I saw the last one or the one before. It was just called The SpongeBob Movie. I think I saw that one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
that one's a classic.
I enjoyed it.
With cheese, Squidward. With cheese.
Now we know what movies you like to go back and watch.
Guilty as charged.
So this is Super Fight. Interesting game.
Yeah, it would make a good drinking game.
Yeah.
Good way to kill some cheap swill.
Mm-hmm. Have
a brass monkey.
Brass monkey.
I don't know what there's blue and purple cards too.
Maybe is it location?
Blue and purple cards. Blue are locations and purple are scenarios. Set these aside, draw 1, both or none for each fight. Either before fighters are created or after to take them by surprise. So that was like an expedited version, but yeah.
We get the gist. That's interesting.
I'd say that's worth the paper it's printed on.
I'd say too.
Yeah.
I like that. Nice. Super Fight. I like the box. Very slick. Alright, what's next? We'll go to what's inside this.
Ooh, a sachet.
Mm-hmm. It's dice. This is pretty cool.
Okay, I like it. I see where it's going with this.
What is that? 6?
Oh, okay. I thought this was rock paper scissors. Yeah. Isn't this rock paper scissors, or is it counting? Like 5.
I get it.
5, 2,
5,
4,
2. It is maybe. Is it rock?
I think it's rock paper scissors.
Yeah.
So you got the fist, you got the palm of the hand, and then you have the 2 scissors.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Well, there we go. That's a good way to recognize it. Oh, well, it's a tie.
Interesting.
Yeah. At least
Rock,
they don't
paper,
make
scissors.
you argue who would win in a fight in rock paper scissors.
No, and I think it might be a little bit easier. You both release the dice at the same time, and what it is what it is.
This crate definitely wants to pit people against each other.
I haven't discovered the theme yet. If you know, say so.
I'm starting to wonder myself.
So
definitely game oriented.
This is Ant Micro Robotic Creatures. Batteries are included. High-speed robotic creature that reacts to touch. Oh my god.
Okay, so I think these are one of those bugs that they sell at Radio Shack, and I used to have what is it, like a pen almost, where they would run around.
Yeah.
There's the scissors.
The ant. It's called the hex bug.
So is it because it puts a hex on you, or because it's like hex code?
Might be. Alright. I'm touching you. Aren't you supposed to react?
It's dead, Jim. Do you pull it back? Oh, yeah, okay, that's a battery tab. No, wait, no, it's not. No, it's not. Oh, there we go. Okay, and it's...
Now it's just... What are you doing?
Okay, I think, like, what's supposed to happen is, if I remember the commercial correctly, it, like, these two antennae on it, like, touch the wall or something like that, and then it backs up, right? And then if it, like, bumps into something with the wire on its butt, then it'll, like, go forward again. So it's like an artificial AI toy.
It's just the wheels are just spinning.
Yeah, it's like the wheels are on overdrive.
All right, he gets put over there. Interesting. I guess, well, here's the directions as well. Look at that later. That's the hex bug. And we get a book.
Oh my.
Ready Player One. This is the New York Times bestseller. Ready Player One, a novel by Ernest Cline. I've never heard of this book.
Neither have I.
In the year 2044, reality is an ugly place. The only time teenage Wade Watts really feels alive is when he's jacked into the virtual utopia known as the Oasis. It's Wade Watts. Wade's devoted his life to studying the puzzles hidden within this world's digital confines. Puzzles that are based on their creator's obsession with the pop culture of decades past that promise massive power and fortune to whoever can unlock them. But when Wade stumbles upon the first clue, he finds himself beset by players willing to kill to take this ultimate prize. The race is on, and if Wade's going to survive, he'll have to win and confront the real world he's always been so desperate to escape.
Well,
how about that?
I am at the edge of my seat.
Are you? It sounds a little bit like another book or movie that I'm sure I've watched or read before. What is it? The Game or something like that? When somebody's... Or The Hunt, some kind of, sick game that somebody puts a bunch of players and people into and kills them off one by one, and they want to escape from this place. It sounds like a very interesting...
So it's like the most dangerous prey meets the wizard.
Game. Most dangerous game. Or
It must be the prequel to Ready Player 2.
Haven't read that one either.
Uh-huh.
And we get a pin. It's called Play. That's what the theme is.
Ooh.
Play.
Wonderful. It has a little Monopoly board.
And it gives us the game instructions. Welcome to Loot Crate's first original board game. Wait a minute, we'll get to that in a bit. Crate Packing Simulator 2015. Apparently this turns into a board game. Firefly Online. The Overland awaits you, Captain.
You know, I've never seen Firefly.
I never seen it as well, but I've heard from many people that they love it. It's an interesting little thing. So in the back of the pamphlet for this month's crate, we get a bunch of stuff that we can kind of add to the game. We get little avatars.
What?
Why not?
Oh, I get it. Okay, these must be tokens for the Crate Packing Simulator 2015.
Indeed. Money and all that other good stuff.
Ooh, a mega crate with shell in it. Or not shell, GLaDOS?
GLaDOS. And what's this last thing here?
Ooh.
That's part of the packaging.
Posters.
I love posters. I've got the Video Game Live poster over there, and then a Muhammad Ali poster. I've got room for posters.
Okay, that is some very protective wrapping for a poster. And drum roll. Oh, wow. Hey, now that is cool. Okay. That is spiffy.
It's pretty neat.
I mean, I'm not going to nitpick. It's completely, wrong in the sense of the system that it's on, but it's cool. It's cool.
Describe it to them.
Well, okay, so, all right, basically, All right, it's a poster of an Atari 2600 cartridge, like a deconstruction of it. Even the sticker. The sticker is Pac-Man for the Atari 2600. And it's like facing away from the label. The label is facing away from the arcade screen to Pac-Man, which is then going down to the circuit board itself, and then, of course, the base of the cartridge. I love it. Very Art Deco. I would get that framed.
So the dice are for rolling on the board.
Oh, okay.
And so...
Okay.
Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting. Like using rock, paper, scissors to roll the dice to see how many.
So clench fist means rolling, move 1. 2 means move 2 spaces, and then the open palm is 3.
Oh wow!
And it's up to 4 players, and that's interesting.
That's very clever.
We'll get the...
I mean, it has a triple way of playing.
Indeed. Wow. So that's Loot Crate. The theme is play. You have the pin. Do you have the pin?
Pen.
There's the pin.
Oh, pin.
Pin. I like that. Loot Crate is so neat. I like all their stuff that they've got going on.
So you got like a tote bag or something like that to put all your pins on, all your buttons on.
What I need is a shelf for all this cool stuff.
There you go. The Loot Crate shelf.
The Loot Crate shelf. Shelf full of stuff. Random stuff.
Kick back, put in a CD of a roaring fire, and admire the Loot Crate shelf.
It won't be a roaring fire.
Well, that book was better.
Yeah. Ready Player One. I'm interested in Firefly Online. I didn't even know that they were... I think I heard a little bit that they were coming out with a game. Get the game on your platform of choice. It's coming out on iOS, Android, Windows, and Mac.
It had me at free.
You must register to unlock this premium ship. So, I wonder if it's like Star Trek Online or something.
Loot Crate ship is so OP.
But we get the Callahan full-bore auto-lock assault rifle. Doesn't that just sound amazing?
It rolls off the tongue beautifully.
I can kill some noobs with the assault rifle, or level 1 baddies with ease, I'm sure.
That's right. Space rats.
Space rats.
Space boars.
Indeed. You've got a list.
I got a
list. We didn't do a production meeting for this one, so we're following up.
Well, I have the version 1.0 of the tablet. It's known as a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. And, interesting fact of the day, you use a pen to write on these pieces of paper. But unfortunately, there is not an erase function on these. But today, I had so much fun doing obscure video game facts last week that I decided to just comb some sites and pick out some, what I thought were some obscure but rather interesting facts. And this came mostly from vgfacts.com, a little bit from Wikipedia, and a little bit from eeggs.com, which is the Easter egg archives, and they do video games and movies and that sort of thing. I don't think many people have heard of them. So let's get started. Now, I do not have an official source for any of these facts. Okay, I'm assuming here that because these were posted on VG Facts that there is some level of legitimacy to them.
It's the internet.
Whether it's a rumor,
it's legitimate.
Or, I don't know, but I'm not making any claims. I'm not endorsing anything or starting any rumors. But let's begin, shall we? So DuckTales for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Mm-hmm. Have you played that, Robert?
Yeah, a long time ago. They just released the remastered version. I haven't played that one yet.
I own the NES version.
Yeah.
I owned it up until just recently. And I played it. It's a quick game now. It's kind of an afterthought.
Yeah.
But I did not know that if you press select $3 million will be taken from Scrooge McDuck's cash fund that you collect with collecting points, right? I always thought that the points, the gems, were just like a fun little thing they threw in, like in Mega Man 1. You know, it like served no purpose. It was just there to keep score for anyone who wanted to keep score. But no, actually, if you press select, you will get life back, and it will deduct 3 million money from you. And it's possible to have an alternate ending to the game where Scrooge McDuck has $0, and it changes the ending text to a screen that says Scrooge McDuck spends fortune looking for treasure. Okay? Ooh. And there's actually walkthroughs out on the internet on how to get $0, like to play the game and not collect gems and stuff like that, so you only collect the end gems, you know, and do your math and get to $0 and beat the game with $0 and get the ending text. And so something special they did that's very specific, very tedious, just to change one line of text. I think that's kind of interesting. I had no idea that you could even press select to get money or get health in DuckTales by using your money, let alone there being an alternate ending to it. So
I didn't know about the alternate ending.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's yeah. I mean, now I need to know if that's true or not. I'm gonna have to track down DuckTales. Yeah. Now this one, I would love it to be true. I think if this was even muttered, whispered, like somebody just leaned back in their chair and were like, this would be a neat idea. And they worked at Sierra in the 90s, okay? Leisure Suit Larry. You ever played any of his games?
Yeah.
He's like basically an uncool Duke Nukem if you've never played him. He's trapped in the 70s. It's basically the 80s or 90s, and so disco is kind of dead, and he's just kind of he's kind of unattractive, in his own way, and he's kind of a hound dog, and
he's on his way to slaying
basically,
the girls.
Yeah, each game is basically on a quest to get Leisure Suit Larry laid. Now, apparently there were plans after Land of the Lounge Lizards to produce a movie that starred Jim Carrey as Leisure Suit Larry.
I know that one, yeah.
Yeah, like, I could see that today. Like, Sierra, if you're listening, if anyone is still alive at Sierra who has, like, just some money lying around for a rainy day, that's where the money's at. Like, take the Dumb and Dumber 2 script, make it Leisure Suit Larry. They do the same crude, vulgar things that they did in Dumb and Dumber 2. Instant cash cow right there.
Who owns the rights to Leisure Suit Larry?
I thought Sierra still owned the rights because Sierra is now Sierra, or not Sierra Online. No, that's Sierra Online. Does Sierra Online still exist?
Well, honestly, that's so far back I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Sierra Entertainment. If so,
Sierra,
that's Activision.
Okay, so Activision owns Sierra. So hey, it's entirely
company.
Possible.
Yeah.
But I think that would be a really great movie. And with Jim Carrey's age, how he's aged, hey, I think that's a perfect role for him.
That needed to come about right around the time of those rumors 10 years ago, maybe 90s. That would be interesting. But I heard that one too. That was interesting.
I go, boy, there's so many missed opportunities. So, all right, I love talking about the old LucasArts games, the golden years. The golden years with the golden man who raised up his arms and made an eyeball. It was, those are the good times. So it's always fun to think about Day of the Tentacle and Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis and Sam and Max Hit the Road, because they had such an impact on my childhood and so many others. And so when I learn something new about one of these games that I didn't know, I find it interesting. And you might know, but I think there's people out there who may appreciate this. There's actually a continuity error in Day of the Tentacle. If you examine the bowling ball in the Tentacle's room, green Bernard will inquire about it, and Green Tentacle will say, well, after Purple Tentacle grew arms, he decided to take up bowling, so he bought a bowling ball. But then stopped because he realized he didn't have thumbs. Now, without giving anything away, the bowling ball does play an important part in the end of the game, but they end up going back in time in the end of the game. They go back in time to before Purple Tentacle drank the radioactive sludge and grew his arms. Hence, Purple Tentacle would not have had the bowling ball at the time, hence you could not use it at the end of the game, so it would not exist going back in time.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of neat. I always like time travel, like paradoxes and stuff like that. You know, it's like a pun. Kind of interesting. Metal Slug 2. I've dropped a lot of quarters in arcades over the years. I mean, like, you know, hey, someplace has a Metal Slug arcade machine. I don't care if it's the deepest of dive bars. I'm going to go in and pop in a few quarters. I mean, come on, right? But little thing in the background, there are Arabic flags that is mostly just gibberish, but apparently there is an Arabic flag that says in Arabic, I have diarrhea, I need medicine.
That's interesting.
So maybe somebody who's played Metal Slug and can read Arabic can confirm that one.
If someone's still playing those games today, you can probably download it off the Xbox Live Arcade for 360 if it's on there, I think, still. And you can find out that for sure. And
hey, it's worth every penny. I mean, there's like, 10 Metal Slugs, and
they're all pretty
fun. There's even a zombie Metal Slug. I mean, you know, go for it. Okay, so we've all heard of Desert Bus.
Have we?
Have we? Well, I don't know. It's a simulator. Okay, and basically, you basically play a bus driver, and you have to drive from Tucson to Las Vegas.
Oh my god!
And
back in 1985, when Route 93 is not even built, and you have to go around.
Right? Yeah. Yes. And I didn't know this. Penn and Teller. Okay, the comedian magicians. This was actually a mini game from an actual game that Penn and Teller had.
I didn't know that.
I didn't even know Penn and Teller had a game, and I didn't even know Desert Bus came from that game. But even more traumatic is that when the game came out, they held a contest to the person who could get the highest possible score in Desert Bus. And the highest possible score in Desert Bus is a 99, which translates into 792 hours or 33 days.
That's terrible. I feel bad for whoever did that to themselves.
Like, what could they have possibly offered to make somebody sit there and hold the left and right keys on their keyboard for 33 days?
I'm interested in seeing this game.
It's atrocious. You could probably find a lot of Let's Plays, and they don't last very long.
Desert Bus. I've seen Bus Simulator.
It's Bus Simulator. It's got stuff to do. Desert Bus, you're just going down the highway and
in the desert.
Yeah, you don't want to careen off the road, so you have to tap the steering wheel every now and then. You know, got to make sure that your passengers get there safe. Don't fall asleep.
I might want to check that out. I'm interested in simulators. I probably wouldn't be able to play it all the way through, but that's interesting.
Well,
Penn and Teller's game,
right? They should have an MMO.
Should they?
Yeah, a Desert Bus MMO.
Oh, yeah, they should have a driving MMO game where people are just driving around forever, and like
Stuck in Traffic Simulator 2017.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I heard Microsoft acquired the rights to it.
Okay, I'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah. If you pre-order it, you can get the coffee-stained, freshly pressed white collar shirt. Yeah.
As DLC.
As a
Bonus
DLC, yes. That's right.
In that case, it's worth it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you get an alternate color for your Geo Metro 1989. Yeah.
I think some people will appreciate
No.
that.
So, anyway, I'm sorry, they changed my brand in paint chips. Now, Simlish.
Simlish, I know Simlish.
Yeah,
from The Sims.
From The Sims.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like
finally something I can relate to.
Yay! Well, did you know Simlish did not originate from The Sims? There was an original.
Sure.
There was one.
Like in the Sims franchise that came before?
Where
SimCity.
Sims was actually spoken.
SimCity.
Older than that.
Older than SimCity?
Older than SimCity. Maybe as old as SimCity 2000, but not older than SimCity 3000. And it's a really crappy, obscure game that...
like what? Simcopter, SimHealth, SimAnt?
There you go. Simcopter.
Okay.
Simcopter, first game to feature Simlish.
Huh.
Yeah. I was excited to get Simcopter. I wasn't very excited to play it.
Yeah, I've dabbled with a little bit of all of them. It's interesting.
It came along with Streets of Sim City at one point, and not a lot of people have that game.
Yeah,
because it's worth as much as about an AOL CD 3.0, right? You know, but Simcopter was definitely the more fun game in the franchise.
But they have Sim Life too. I think that was a separate game. They should just put all these games together and just call it Sim Life, or if that's not a separate game, which I have a feeling it is.
I think there's a Sim. Yeah, there's a Sim Earth, which it's kind of like like a life simulator, a population simulator,
like Google Earth, like.
and
Okay.
It's like Sim Health. You just put your population where you want, and based on different factors, like they evolve differently, and it's a simulator, that's for sure. Not Desert Bus exciting, but
Desert Bus.
Okay, this one probably not super interesting. I bet a lot of people know this. Not really cool per se. But it's from one of those franchises where you think, okay, there's all there is that I can learn from it. So have you ever played Sonic and Knuckles?
Yeah.
For the Sega Genesis?
Yeah.
Okay. And remember towards the end of the game...
No. I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Well, basically Knuckles is... You're like in this sky sanctuary.
Uh-huh.
Okay, there's like these floating pillars, and you're going up in the clouds, and Knuckles is helping you by activating these bridges and portals.
Yep.
Right? Okay, and he's like hurt because he was holding on to the Chaos Emerald that Dr. Robotnik had taken, and he like zapped him.
Mm-hmm.
So every time he presses a button, he does this like panting animation. Like ha ha. Like he's out of breath. He can't take it much longer. Dramatic for 16-bit. But in the last instance of that, when Knuckles extends the bridge to the last portal, if you press down, and this is how they described it, if you press down facing Knuckles, it will be as if Sonic is bowing to Knuckles, and Knuckles' sprite will change, and he'll start doing this, come on, just go animation. Yeah, it sounds weird, but yeah, I've looked into it, and he really does. He has this special animation that you can only see if you quote unquote bow in front of Knuckles, as if to say thank you. You
have vetted this.
Yes. It makes sense. Bowing in Japan is a sign of respect, so it's like. If you're just messing around and like, oh, bow, I thank you, Knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
You probably see the Easter egg, but I wouldn't do that. Fuck Knuckles, I ain't gonna bow to him. Anyway.
Only if they make a decent present-day game would I be playing that.
Okay, Vector Man, as long as we're on the subject of Sega Genesis, Vector Man, okay?
Enlighten us.
Well, I don't know if you've played Vector Man.
I've heard of it.
It was kind of like... Sega went through this, like, everything is cool, everything is rad.
I remember those commercials. So
Vector Man was like,
that, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it may be, well, no, the Vectrix was first vector-based graphics. But, Vector Man, I think it was an attempt at vector-based graphics on the Sega Genesis.
You're asking the wrong person. This is like 20
yeah.
years ago for me.
Yeah, you know what?
It's appeared long and gone for me.
Last time I played it, it was a weekend rental. But I guess some copies of Vector Man had a special ending. Random copies of Vector Man had a special ending for a contest to win $25,000. And apparently it was won by a 12-year-old boy in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Now, that sounds like something that Bugs Bunny would make up, but, you know, hey, if that's true, awesome, right?
Wow. New Mexico, that's where they buried all the Atari games, huh?
Yeah, and that was proven not to be a hoax.
Yeah.
The documentary. They found quite a few cartridges, and I believe they were still working, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Some of them were actually good enough to plug in and get working.
Some people who wanted to experience E.T. again.
I mean, you know, it's bad enough to play E.T., but, you know, you actually get excited about playing an E.T. game that was buried in cement and excavated. I suppose it's like the Jurassic Park of video games, right?
Yep.
Like, wait a minute. How did you resurrect such early copies of E.T. the Extraterrestrial? I'll show you. Okay. I've lost it. Okay, it's this Mexican Coke.
It's the Mexican Coke.
The sugar's gone
it's
to my
pure
head.
Sugar cane. It's crazy.
And while we're on the subject of contests, okay, I can totally see this. All right, what's your favorite episode of Seinfeld? Come on, everyone has one. Even people who's never seen Seinfeld, they just know.
There's a lot of them. I'll go with the Soup Nazi then.
Soup Nazi. Soup Nazi is a classic. It's a classic.
It's a classic. It's one that always plays on TBS.
Yeah. And if someone asked me, I would probably say Soup Nazi too. And I forget that there is an episode that could tie for greatest episode. And I've only seen this episode once, but I can't believe I forgot it. But there was an episode of Seinfeld where George Costanza finds his old Frogger machine, okay? And it has his high score is still number 1.
Yeah.
And they have plans to dismantle or rather turn the machine off so that it loses the score.
I remember
okay?
seeing this episode.
And so, to anyone who hasn't seen the episode, he hires somebody to keep the power on. He ends up buying the Frogger machine. He ends up keeping the power on. But I guess there's a glitch and the power's about to go out. And so he has to run across the street in order to get it charged. And if you know where this is going, it does this overhead view of George Costanza pushing around a Frogger machine while playing Frogger music and doing the little ditties.
Yeah.
I was like, I forgot that existed. Great episode. And it turns out that there was a contest held by Atari that ended December 31st of 2005. And basically, if you beat George Costanza's fictional score of 860,630 points,
I wouldn't
you won like $1,000. I mean, it wasn't anything to scream at, you know, but there were no winners. But somebody actually did surpass the score in December 22nd with roughly 890,000 points. And it was actually broken again in July 2012 with approximately 970,000 points.
People out there are still playing Frogger.
It was like screw the $1,000. I'm going to beat George Costanza's score. Yeah.
Determination.
And they turbinated.
Nice. It's the sugar cane.
That's right. My nuclear cells. Okay. I am a huge DDR fan, Dance Dance Revolution. Okay, I was actually president of the Dance Dance Revolution Club in my high school.
Whoa!
Yeah, we had the most, the people who show up for pictures just for the sake of being in as many club pictures as they can, but, you know, they never actually showed up.
Yeah.
Okay, this was the time when it was DDR1, they had just come out with the Disney version, and, we were still duct taping the crappy plastic mats to the school floors. But you know what? We liked it, and we wouldn't have had it any other way. I'm spoiled with hard pad mats. But so we'd basically just play that during lunch, which was a great way to exercise and have some fun. But we were really only like 5 people, okay? Well, we ended up getting like 17 people in our picture. Like, I'm looking around like,
I don't
who are you guys?
Like,
well, hey, thanks for coming to the picture, So I didn't look like that big of a nerd at all. Yeah. But anyway,
this was found on the website.
We'll have to look for that.
I would go in the time machine to see this Captain of the DDR.
Oh my gosh! Wow. I actually did pass the baton to a child when a freshman when
it was time for you to go.
Yeah, when we had finals.
Oh.
I told him, "You're a man now. You get to run the DDR club," and I walked out. But I hope he lived it on, and the tradition is still going. Yes, the club still goes on strong. But what wouldn't have gone on strong is there was actually plans to eliminate DDR. There was actually a final DDR, and that one was Dance Dance Revolution Extreme. And signs of this point to Max Period. Okay, that's
Max.
I didn't give it the song title. That's it's MAX with a dot, but it's pronounced Max Period. So
maximum period.
Yeah, maximum period. Right? Okay.
So this is the name of a song.
This is the name of a song.
Okay.
And it features a riff from one of the Boss songs, quote unquote, from the original DDR series called Paranoia. And evidence of this is the lyrics end with "Thanks for playing."
Okay.
That's being fun. So DDR Extreme was to be the last DDR, but as we know now, there is like 50 million other versions of DDR out there that even I can't even keep track of.
It's been off my radar for a few years. I know that I think they're still going around, at least the arcades over in Japan. People love that stuff, but there hasn't been anything in recent memory over the past few years, at least console versions.
There's been some crummy console versions out there. A lot of licensed console versions.
Yeah.
I remember the Disney DDR for the PlayStation 1 used to cost a fortune. It was like the Misadventures of Tron Bond for its day.
Yeah.
Until this plug-and-play version of the same game came out to the market, and it was cheap. It was like $15 or something like that, one player, and it was basically that game, plug and play into your TV.
Sure, but I'm thinking more recent as if 360 or PS3.
The 360, and I believe the Wii. I know there was like a Mario mix for the Wii.
Yeah.
I'm sure there.
That's how low under the radar it's been. It's like I don't even pay attention to it.
It's
like I know there's Just Dance. There's all these other kinds of dance games out there, but no big on the radar thing for DDR.
Yeah, they've really messed with DDR. There aren't too many more original songs. They're just remixing, classic songs or pop culture songs, and it's just.
But even then, the mechanics of the arrows and just the way that you play through the game, that's very unique.
Yes.
No other dance game has that, because nowadays it's all movement based with Kinect or some other kinds of camera. Mm-hmm. It's not map based in terms of how DDR used to play. That's very unique.
That's right. I actually played a DDR in my heyday when I was actually like very healthy, younger, fitter body. Yes, captain of the DDR team. I played DDR at the Metreon in San Francisco, and this one was kind of unique, okay? If you were actually ripping it, all right, and I think this was a disservice since it was $5 for 3 songs. I'm not joking. It's like, you are not going to get on this DDR pad unless you damn well know what you're doing, or you're going to be out $5 in 3 seconds, and you're going to be like, this sucks. But so I put in my $5, and I'm like, I'm trying to pick songs that I know.
Yeah.
But I know I can do them on a hard mode, so I can impress all the other people at the Metreon.
Of course.
Which I never did actually get that huge crowd of people cheering, Rocky style that I always hoped for. But, I tried, believe me, I tried. But here, it actually encouraged it. If you ripped on Dance Dance Revolution, you were doing damn good.
Yeah.
They must have had something programmed, okay? But the lights would dim, and these decals, these light decals, laser decals, would shine on the floor and spin around, and it was like this little spotlight would be on you, and you'd be like, like I'm the star here, So
awesome.
any DDR players you in San Francisco or going to be, I highly recommend the Metreon. I think it has the PlayStation Store in it, an official PlayStation Store.
Yeah. I haven't been to San Fran.
The
Metreon, do you think?
Nice place to visit.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of things to do.
Yeah.
Capcom had their thing there for Street Fighter.
That's right. That's right. Like and you know what? If you ever heard of the video game Walk of Fame, that's where it is on the Metreon. Yeah. I remember Sonic is on there.
He damn well better be. He was a star.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If I remember correctly, it actually had the imprint of a shoe with a little stripe on it.
Really? It's funny.
Yeah. But,
what else you got?
Well, okay. Obscure game, The Neverhood. Or rather, fully, The Neverhood Chronicles. That's one of my favorite video game composers, the Fat Man. He's done music for The Neverhood, of course. Skull Monkeys, another game by The Neverhood. He did The Seventh Guest, The 11th Hour, and I believe a few other obscure games that I haven't actually played. But I've heard his music from them, and he's really quite good. There's actually a hidden track on the Seventh Guest CD that was written just for the Seventh Guest, performed by him, and they're both really good songs. You wouldn't even think it was from a video game. But one of them is called Skeletons in My Closet, and the other one is called The Game. And you can find them on YouTube. Just do a search with Seventh Guest. But really pleasant to listen to. Still holds up to this day. Add it to your playlist. But anyway, branching off, we're playing 6 Degrees of Kevin Neverhood here. The Neverhood Chronicles took 3.5 tons of clay to animate. If you've ever played the Neverhood or seen it,
there are just crickets right now.
It's okay. It's a claymation game, like Clay Fighter 64 or
sure.
Wallace and Gromit. I mean,
yes, I know Wallace and Gromit.
That's a terrible example, but clay. They're clay. So the game was a point-and-click adventure, kind of like the LucasArts games were. Little quirky, but it was all made of clay, and it took 3.5 tons of clay.
I guess that's incredible.
That's a lot of clay.
Not in my head.
Amazing facts! Okay. This one you're gonna love. You're gonna love or my money back.
Will I?
I don't have any money, so I'm the one with the guarantee. Rise of the Triad. You ever play Rise of the Triad? I played it as a child briefly, like the demo version. I believe it was by the people who did Wolfenstein. Apogee? Was it Apogee at the time, or was it id? I don't quite remember.
We'll go with okay.
Okay, I like it.
Okay.
I like it. All right, well, In Rise of the Triad, and this is actually one of my favorite sound effects. I wish I could emulate it, okay? But the God mode sound in Rise of the Triad.
God mode.
There's a God mode, okay? And basically what happens is you pick up God mode and this hand appears. Like you put down your gun and you pick up this like holy hand.
Like the hand from Smash Brothers?
Yeah, like I don't know, like it's like a human looking hand, but it's like glowing, right? And when you attack, it's like the BFG 9000 from Doom, except it actually just follows all the enemies in the room and just obliterates the entire room, right? Yeah. And all while you're running around in God mode, you hear this like, it almost sounds like a tired dad making old man sounds. It's like, I can't do it.
You're right. I would get a kick out of this.
Like if you heard it, I implore anyone who has never heard this gorgeous sound before. Of a God mode where it sounds like a tired dad making dad noises.
Tired dad.
But yeah, that's the only way I can really describe it. It's like a tired grandpa or something making, you know, like weird yawns in his recliner type noise. and
it's a hand.
Yeah, it's just a hand, but it fires. It's temporary. It fires a very powerful projectile. And I'm glad to know this. There was actually an inspiration for that hilarious sound.
Ooh.
And it was moaned by John Romero while he used no clip mode in Wolfenstein 3D because he was imitating God, right?
Wow.
So they I'm assuming that they've recorded John Romero making these sounds and incorporated it as the God mode sound in Rise of the Triad.
Oh my god! I think it's so cute, the age geekiness. I love it.
Right? It's really nostalgic, you know, to like learn something about a game that you know you've known all your life, you know, and you think you know everything, and you just don't. It blows my mind.
I will help to make sure that I help you connect with these folks who are listening in, who are just as nostalgic in it as you.
You know what? You know, and while we're on the subject of that, Rise of the Triad actually had a remake. Mm-hmm. I still haven't played that. I would love to play that. Like I would bend over backwards for anyone who lets me play the modern Rise of the Triad.
Is it modern in terms of the Shadow Warrior remake, or is it modern in terms of 5 years ago?
That's another game that I would really love to play, but my computer is completely roached.
You need to get up with the times.
I know,
like
right?
Xbox One, PS4, something to help you out.
Yeah. But gosh, Rise of the Triad would be absolutely fun to play.
Help you out.
And you know, I didn't know until the remake that and this isn't on the list, I'm just throwing it out here, that each character, because you could pick a character, but it seemed arbitrary, you know, like, oh, I'm picking a character. It didn't really seem to do anything gameplay-wise, but there were actually subtle differences in gameplay, like one person ran faster but took more hits, and one person was slower but could take more hits, and someone was better with their gun, someone was better with their knife, someone jumped higher. I don't quite remember, you know, all the special things, but I didn't know that until they remade Rise of the Triad. And then the Shadow Warrior remake looks absolutely spectacular.
I was watching it. I haven't played it yet. But it's a really cool game. It's just so. It's gory.
When I saw like the intro maybe, or like some gameplay footage, and he picks up his cell phone in his car and he's like, "Who wants us some wang?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" Like I know I'm gonna love this game. Like, So that's something to cross off on my bucket list there.
Hopefully you get to it soon. Better yet, you know, just to help connect with some more people who like to live in the 90s. You need to find that device to stream these older consoles, especially if the computer gets to work, and that way, you know, other folks can watch you play these games and just
that would be
zone.
incredible.
Wouldn't that be
incredible? That would be fun. You know, like doing speed runs or let's plays, you know,
Yeah.
2-player games, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Help you
absolutely.
Help you out a little bit. If I can't get you to the 2015, then, you know, we'll have to visually bring people to 1988 or 1990.
You know, you're going to have to record it because I'm going to act like the Nintendo 64 kid if I get to play these games, right? Like, Rise of the Triad! Oh my god, Rise of the Triad!
It's going to be amazing. People might laugh with you or at you, or I don't know.
We'll, you know, break out the beers and everyone can just stand there and gather around and, you know, $5, you know, for the show, you know.
Of course.
So, yep. See the crazy woman screaming Rise of the Triad for about 3 hours.
Rise of the Triad. This sounds interesting. If it's 2-player, then I can be there and be useless.
Oh, it'd be great. No.
I'll just fall off the screen multiple times.
Well, like, help collect 1-ups. You know, very, very proactive.
1-ups.
Yeah, that's right.
So, obscure game facts.
Obscure game facts. Yes, let's continue.
Oh my god, I thought we were ending, but we're not.
No, you know what? I got 3 more. Okay. You ever play the Simpsons arcade game?
Yeah. In fact, I have. I remember this game.
Okay, you probably know this fact.
I
think a lot of younger listeners who do like the Simpsons but have never played the arcade game.
It's out on today's consoles, folks. You can go and get it.
Yeah.
It's in the Xbox store, PlayStation store.
Yeah,
Simpsons arcade.
It's pretty fun. I mean, it's nice to, you know, just to kick back and, you know, see the cartooniness that is the Simpsons.
Yeah.
But if Marge Simpson gets electrocuted or gets her vacuum stuck in her hair, you can see for a split second bunny ears. Okay?
Yeah.
And this is a homage to Matt Groening's, I believe it's called The Meaning of Life or something along those lines. I've read the comic. It's a very... I don't know how to explain it. It's like if The New Yorker had a cartoony comic strip. You know, it's like that Family Guy episode where Peter reads The New Yorker, and it's like, I'd be more apathetic if I wasn't so lethargic. You know, it's like that. You know, you'd really have to see it to understand it, because there really are no words for it. But this was actually to be revealed in the final episode of The Simpsons. And, you know, when that was discovered, that wasn't going to happen anytime soon. It's actually no longer canon, but, you know, I guess we can say that our ears are still there. Who knows? You know, it's the Schrodinger's cat of bunny ears.
I remember that game very well. Memories of that. Pretty fun. I like that game.
I could never figure out how to do the 2-player combos.
Yeah, neither could I.
I think that's how they got you to waste quarters. It was like, yeah, figure out how to do these little combos while the enemies kill you. Mm-hmm. Put in another quarter, will you? Okay. Now I don't know if this is the only Xbox 360 game to be reverse compatible with the Xbox One, but with that said, there is an Xbox 360 game that is reverse compatible with the Xbox One.
Is your age showing?
Listen.
Xbox One as in Xbox One or Xbox original?
When I was your age, a blowjob meant something completely different when an NES cartridge was around.
Original Xbox or Xbox One?
An Xbox 360 game that will work in an Xbox One, and it was a series. That series is the Burger King games for the Xbox 360 that you could buy for that short period of time.
Oh.
I believe there was like Sneak King.
I played that one.
I've never seen Sneak King.
Stupid.
My understanding is it's like a Metal Gear Solid, but instead of choking people, you force feed them hamburgers. Like maybe you can
it's creepy. It's just weird. The guy's walking around with the mask on, and you're not supposed to be discovered. You're supposed to spread the love of Burger King and the Whopper.
It's like
all hail the Whopper.
Five Nights at Burger King.
Five Nights at Burger King. I don't want to meet the king outside of Burger King.
Remember that commercial where the guy wakes up and opens his curtains and he's just standing there looking at him with the croissant witch?
Yeah.
And then the guy eats it.
I wonder what happened to him. What they phased him out of the marketing campaigns or something?
Like, I don't know.
Is he just gone right now?
Like, he looked like the It clown repainted to look like a king. He was pretty creepy.
So,
mercy.
So these games were compatible with Xbox One.
With Xbox One. Mm-hmm.
Xbox One?
Yeah. Xbox One. You could put the 360 games in, just in case. Because, you want to play the game so bad, and, I bought it for my child who has an Xbox, but not an Xbox 360, and they put it in, and it would work.
Original Xbox. The Xbox One.
Not the Xbox. Okay, I see what you did there, Microsoft. That was a pretty subtle troll. That took me a while to figure out.
The age has shown.
Well, it's like, okay, it is the first Xbox, so you would call it the Xbox One, but now they have the Xbox. Those bastards.
She just figured this one out, folks.
Those bastards.
Oh,
I'm telling you.
How dare they do that?
I'm telling you.
The name makes no sense. I know that.
I just figured it out. That's out.
Okay.
My gosh.
This
was my Slowpoke impression, right?
Of the Pokemon?
Of the modern Slowpoke. That's right. Yeah, see, I'm cool.
You would have me at a loss with that one. I haven't watched Pokemon since the Johto League series of late 90s or something like that, early 2000s.
Oh, gosh. Well, we're hip. We're cool.
Are we?
Yeah, we like that Pikachu,
Oh, yeah. We like Pikachu. Ash is still 13.
That's right.
He'll never age, like Bart Simpson.
Yeah, he's been 13 for, 20 years now?
Yeah. I wish I could stay the same age forever. I'll stick with 22 or 25, 32.
Oh, gosh. I would hate to see what Ash would look like as a man.
I'm scared. I'm scared what Brock would look like as an older man.
Oh, my gosh.
He would very well get into trouble.
Oh, Jesus. Gosh, Brock as an older man. That's scary right there.
Yeah, people would be getting those offender emails when he moves in.
Ash would go through puberty like that Native American kid from King of the Hill.
Oh my God! Yes. What's his name? Johnny?
Joseph.
Joseph.
Yeah.
Bobby Hill's best friend.
Hey, we gotta go catch them all.
Uh-huh.
Oh, mercy. And, alright.
Mercy.
Now, this one, okay, not a lot of people are going to find cool, but I find cool because this is something I discovered on my very own.
Whoa.
That's right.
I like when that happens.
You
discover something like, wow.
That's right. I got to tell the world,
Yeah,
I got to post it on Imager, Facebook. Write the president. Instagram
that shit.
That's right. Right swipe that. Yeah.
Okay.
In Wizard 101. I might as well touch on Wizard 101 right now, because when the hell are we ever going to talk about Wizard 101?
Only now, maybe in the future. Who knows?
Yeah.
What is Wizard 101?
It's a very slow playing card game. You have an avatar that you level up, but leveling up gives you different cards. And whenever you get into a battle, you play cards to play spells. And it's a very simple to learn game, but it's kind of hard to master. But they've actually done a very good job at incorporating young children and adults without there being any direct interaction, direct conflict. Children have their own pre-selected list that they can pick from. Like, they have no other option. They can't type anything in if they want to. Teenagers and the older children they can speak, but they have a set of words in like a pre-recorded dictionary, so they can speak, but if it's not in the dictionary, it just comes out as a blur.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if you're an adult, you can say whatever the fuck you want within reasonable limits. Like the only thing that are bleached out is, sex and cussing references, right?
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, very innovative game. Excuse me, that was my Pee Wee Herman impression. A very innovative game. I liked it. They did a good job pairing me up with people of my age group, which was kind of ironic. Like, hey, a bunch of 30-year-olds, how's it going? But I found something in Wizard 101. There are pets in Wizard 101, and they give you different attributes and stuff like that. And to raise them, you get snack cards, because they eat cards, I guess. Right?
Oh.
One of these snack cards is a red Dopefish. And if anyone knows who Dopefish is, Dopefish appeared in the Commander Keen series, which has become a running joke Easter egg, almost like the Wilhelm scream in movies. Like, there's the phrase, Dopefish lives, and sometimes even homages to Dopefish. I know Dopefish has been in Max Payne, Duke Nukem 3D, and some more modern games. I want to say something along the lines of Dead Space or Gears of War, but the consensus is Dopefish lives, like we're keeping the Easter egg alive. And the image of the fish is a large buck-toothed fish with one small eye and one large eye, which one would see in the Commander Keen games with Dopefish swimming around. I believe he premiered in Commander Keen 5, Goodbye Galaxy, maybe?
Crickets.
Yeah.
We're counting on you for this one.
Okay, well, so Dopefish appeared in one of the levels. He's basically swim, eat, swim, eat. He's a dope. He's a fish with a 5-second memory, and if he sees Keen, he's going to eat Keen. But Dopefish has appeared in other games, and it's become a running joke, like the Wilhelm scream. Exactly. So I had that one submitted to the Easter egg archive forever and a day ago. So I just wanted to toot my own horn on that one too. But with that, I figure next week's segment, I would do a little segment that I like to call Dopefish Lives, in which I'll talk about some of the much more obscure references to Dopefish and much more modern, obvious references to Dopefish. So look forward to that if you're a fan of Easter eggs, because I don't think Dopefish has really been touched upon in the gaming community. And
that's interesting, yeah.
There should be a lot to talk about. So
I'm sure we can't wait.
Yeah, look forward to that. Do a Google image search of Dopefish so you can see what this beautiful bastard looks like, and look forward to next week's episode. Yeah.
Thank you, Leah.
No, thank you, Robert.
You have to make sure you give me that list. That way I can actually put it down online, and hopefully other folks who are interested in this kind of stuff can find it, and they can listen to it. Because I find it interesting, even if I can't remember those games off the top of my head. And I'm sure other folks might feel the same way, but I'm sure there are other folks that are interested in that as well.
Absolutely.
We'll spread it around. We'll spread the word.
For sure.
Put it
Absolutely.
in the notes.
So yeah, if you want to recap on some of these facts, maybe you can prove or dissipate some of these facts. We can get a little discussion going. I would love to hear any facts that you might find interesting in any modern or older games. So yeah, definitely submit your comments. I would love to hear it.
Indeed. So now I guess that's it. We'll get some more stuff, what we're playing next week and other things, as well as this segment as we move on from February to March. It's interesting. It's 'tis the season.
Yeah.
Another day of many more weeks of always sunny weather. There's no change of seasons here. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's oh gosh, it's murder. It's murder out here.
Mercy.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you're saying when you're walking around this desert.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you live someplace with intravenous hydration clinics are on just about every street corner. Yeah, you know something's
People walking around with jugs of water too.
Yeah,
two.
It's like, yes, Arizona, where adults also buy Pedialyte.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Phoenix. It's crazy. Well, folks, thank you for listening. Of course, we appreciate you listening in, whether you're listening to us on Stitcher or iTunes or the Tech Podcast Network. We appreciate you listening. Hope you tune in next week. Thank you for spending your time with us, and we look forward to seeing you next week, folks.
Yeah, had a good time. And and remember, if it ain't Sphinx, it stinks.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Sphinx Gamer podcast. If you enjoyed the show, we ask that you please rate and share us. Let us know your thoughts by registering for an account on sphinxgamer.com and getting involved in our community forums. Thank you, and see you all next week.